Hello and welcome to this update to the hair shader for Unreal Engine 4. I've managed to refine the shader quite a good bit. Took away the light ISO that I'd added in thinking it was a good feature, but it just made things a little bit more confusing. I'm just toggling between the game post-process and the viewport. So this is the viewport and this is like the game post-processing. So I'm just going to make some adjustments to some of these values. So I've got this frizz map control for extra features, but as you can see it's affecting the specular quite highly, so I'm going to just reduce those there and control my specular shininess level up here. But you might want some of the frizz to affect some of that. Okay, so once you've got the frizz at the level you want it to, then you can reduce this overall shininess, and that will just spread out the shine a little bit. So the main purpose of this hair shader is that it gives you control over the hair tones without having to go into Photoshop and make new textures up. The hair strands have been created through another little product that I made called Hair Strand Designer. It's in very early form. And the wigs I created in 3D Studio Max using bones and planes to place all the hairs. So this shader is really just to solve the final look of your hair without knowing too much about the material editor. So I've gave you control of these settings here. So I'm just going to make a few changes to one or two of the other hairs. Let's have a look at this one. Looks like it could use a bit of work. So it's the purple one. Okay, so I'm going to put on the frizz boost and change up some of these. I'll change the anisotropic angle as well. So some people like the shiny look, that's obviously too shiny, but I think some of the shiny looks quite nice. You've got control of other little factors that it's hard to know what they do unless you just try them. So spec level looks like it's reflecting much more of the environment, whereas shininess is kind of tighten that up a little bit. So they kind of work together. You can see how one just kind of has control over the range perhaps, and other one sort of tightens it up and makes it brighter. The scatter level is how much light gets through and scatters around. It's a good way to brighten up the hair. And you got your frizz boosters here, but you can see how much they actually affect the shininess map or the colour maps. So I usually like them to affect just a little bit of the shininess, then like affect the colour a good bit more, and then play around with the settings of those. So usually the specular value, the spec value is a little bit grey looking. So when you bring up the spec level, things get a bit washed out. So you may want to keep that low if you want to keep your colours intact, and you can always just like grey out your colours anyway, just by bring them towards white, or desaturate them a bit. Okay, I'm just going to fix up this brown one now. Okay, and I think this one needs a bit of work. So the specular colour inheritance is also a way of getting some of the colour back. After you've added spec level, you can convert some of that tone back to the base colour. You can see how it looks, far away. It does keep its integrity a bit, based on the lights that are around. So I'm just going to move these apart. Yeah, I think it makes for a pretty nice hair shader all round. You get good anisotropy from it, and it's just built off the original Unreal Hair shader setup, but all I'm doing is giving you a bit more control of things without having to go into the actual master material, although you can. But this is the graph, and there's various channels for the base color. There's this texture that drives some of the things that go on in here. Got the frizz map doing a bit of work and mixing in a bit, normal map, and this is everything that's plugged in. So the scattering here is controlled through the scatter level, and it says how metal-like you want your surface to look. So you're kind of having control of both metallic and non-metallic type of appearance, and the scatter map itself even though it does come from the main color, it would be good to perhaps multiply in the, but we're already getting the frizz from the main color as well, so if any frizz that affects the color, we've got the frizz effect in the color here, so I might as well bring this one into here and just let's see how that looks. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look any worse, so I think I'll keep that, and that might even add a little bit more detail to things. I think overall it looks quite nice. I'm just going to move this light around. Okay, so it is basically the Unreal's hair shader setup, but I'm giving you all the control you need to make it more unique without having to jump in and out of Photoshop or anything like that. So everything's controlled through the frizz. So there's a frizz map here that you can change. The normal map corresponds with the hair strands, and these are developed through my little standalone bit of software called Hair Strand Designer, and it just generates these strands that you can then put on your hair cards. The hairs were created using bones in Max. Each plane has its own little bone chain, and I would layer them up. A few little flyaway hairs and things, so you get control of like the opacity level here to take some of that opacity away. Straight into that. So you can see the little flyaway hair there, and you can control all the shininess and things, and any sort of speck level, scatter. This shine is kind of unnatural, so you can take away any, like, fix anything. You've got the anisotropic bend here if you want to, push it around. Maybe your base colours are too strong, you can bring them down a bit as well. A lot of it's down to that, all this light being in the same place as well and quite close. I'm pretty sure this will look good in different lighting conditions as well. So I've moved the light away there, you can see the amount of difference that makes. Bring the directional light round. So the best way to control this is through your lights. And I think that's pretty good so far. I don't want to do any more to this pack because I've been back and forward with some of the looks and feels of it. Maybe the screen here is a little too dry, but it gives you the option, so you can branch off any one of these setups if you like, how shiny it looks. Just make a copy of the material, load in your own textures, and then you can just fine tune the controls. So I'll try to give a broad range of looks here, from really shiny, a bit more frizzed up, and pastel tones with a good bit of frizz, nice dark hair, dry looking hair, and this one's a bit more stylized with the tip being a different colour, so you can colour things quite easily. If you see materials, this one, you can see I've changed the tip colour. You can change that to anything. So, even black. And you've got the root colour there as well, and the main colours. So it's nothing too special, just I'm giving a little technical solution to hair. Otherwise you can load in your hair system all the same and use what Unreal gives you, but this is just an added extra thing, and I'm going to build this pack up with some more wigs, and it's not going to just stop here. I'll extend on it, but I'll try and keep this shader as it is, and from here I'll likely make up different hair material masters. So I'll likely clone this and work on like a second version if there's going to be any new features. That way it won't break anything, because at this early stage it's good that I keep things robust. So thanks for watching this video. If you want to try this out, let me know. It's going to be on sale on Unreal Marketplace hopefully sometime soon as well, and it'd be great to get your support by buying it. So thanks very much. Bye now.